They said that it was unprofessional, it was club hair, and that my hair is unkempt.
It's a little too urban and unkempt for our look.
Hair is undeniably one of the key ways we express our identities. But when black people choose to wear styles that use their naturally textured hair, like afros, dreadlocks, and braids, they risk being seen as unprofessional. Black people have been harassed at work and punished in schools for their natural hairstyles. In Alabama, it's actually legal to fire someone for their hair. Take the case of Chastity Jones. She was a black woman whose job offer was rescinded because she refused to cut her dreadlocks. A federal court ruled that her firing was not racial discrimination because hairstyles are not signifiers of race. They can be changed.
Unkempt. Unkempt.
Unkept is a word that's used again and again to reprimand natural hairstyles. But where does this perception come from? Well, there's actually a long history of African American hair being vilified in America. Before the slave trade, hairstyles were a unique marker of tribal identity, rank, and status in West African societies.
Hairstyles were almost like a person's social security number. Your hairstyle really signified where you belonged and to whom you belonged.
When Africans were brought to the Americas, slave traders shaved their heads.
They were basically making people anonymous. That middle passage was, an erasure of identity.
Throughout North America's history, people of African descent have been punished for wearing their natural hair proudly. Take, for instance, the Tillon Law. In 1786, the governor of Louisiana, then a Spanish colony, passed a law that forced women of African descent to wear a head wrap. This was because their elaborate hairstyles attracted the attention of white men. Straight hair was upheld as the epitome of beauty in American society, while kinkier hair was thought of as unacceptable and unattractive. So in the days after slavery, black people invested in straightening their hair because it led to better jobs and economic mobility. That's until the 1960s. During the Black Power movement, afros became a symbol of a renewed pride in one's African roots. But it also meant black hair became political. For white America, afros became synonymous with black militancy and a disruption of the status quo. In the 1980s, black women across the country were fired for wearing braids.
Black women were embracing these styles because of their cultural relevance, but also for their ease. And mainstream professional corporate America said there's no place for that style in our world.
This same debate reached one of the country's highest institutions, the military. In 2005, the U.S. Army banned dreadlocks, and in 2014, twists and large braids also had to go. The Army has since lifted their ban, but what this incident and our history reveals is a deeply entrenched bias against natural hair. This then fuels the belief that natural hairstyles have no place in the workplace. When it came to rating the professionalism of afros in a recent national study, white women on average gave the style a 2.3 out of 5, while black women gave it a 3.4. When it came to smooth hairstyles, white women gave long, loose curls a 4.1, and black women a 4.0. It's clear from these numbers that regardless of one's race or own hair texture, we're still prone to view straighter hair as more acceptable. But there's hope.
The women in the naturalista sample, and this I think was probably our most exciting finding, had incredibly implicit attitudes towards their own natural hair.
Naturalistas are a community of young black women who wear their natural hair proudly and spread knowledge about how to style it on social media. Through normalizing natural hair and educating black women, they're fueling positive attitudes towards it. There's also been a general decline in demand for straightening products amongst African Americans. Sales for relaxers fell 30.8% between 2011 and 2016, signifying that more and more people are embracing their natural hair. We're also seeing more representations of natural hair in popular culture, from Issa Rae's looks on HBO's Insecure to Black Panther and singer Solange's transformative styles.
We know that when you have repeated exposure to positive imagery, you're able to essentially replace the stereotypes that you have in your brain with the positive trait that you want to see.
Let's hope that as natural hair becomes more and more embraced, its professionalism will no longer be a question.